Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, and we even have a special guest to help us navigate the latest boating news and information today. Her name is Captain Jennifer. She found a message in a bottle, and I don't know, maybe she'll even read it to us on the World of Boating today. Jennifer, welcome. First off, how are you?
Hi, I'm fantastic. We're out here on Lake Huron right now.
Nice. So yeah, she's actually on a boat. The rest of us are on our little cubbies, closets, basements, studios, whatever the case may be.
Mike's on his boat.
Yes.
I'm on my boat.
Oh, that's right. What am I talking about? Mike. He's Mike the Mariner.
welcome.
He has to be. Right. Okay. So at least we got one other person on a boat. But Captain Jennifer made the news. I don't know, that story about the message in a bottle thing that went viral happened how long ago, Jennifer? What do you think?
About 2.5 weeks ago.
Okay. And it literally went viral because you found this message in a bottle. You posted it up on like Facebook or social media. Next thing you know, you find the owner or find the person who wrote the note, and it was like 100 years old or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it was 95 years old. We found George's daughter.
Wow.
She lives down near Detroit. She's coming up to see us in September to see the bottle. And
Oh, excellent. And you found this bottle where exactly?
in the Sheboygan River.
Okay. All right. And you were like just snorkeling around and came across this bottle, and next thing you know, bam, you open it up hey.
I actually had my scuba gear on. I was underneath the boat, washing my glass bottom boat windows.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they get clean.
Right.
I had a potential scuba diver client on shore that wanted to see what it looked like to scuba dive, so I invited him down to check it out. And while I was down there, I finished the windows, and I thought, hey, yeah, I should kind of cruise around down here and see if I can find something neat to keep his interest peaked in scuba diving. And
right.
I guess it really worked.
How about that? Exactly. So did the bottle have like a cork in it, and you knew right away there was something inside, or what?
It did, yeah. The cork was badly deteriorated. When I picked up the bottle, it was actually sitting atop a fish bed.
Yeah.
So when I picked it up, I could see the word "this" like stuck against the side of the bottle because the bottle was about 2/3 full of water.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
immediately I knew it was a message in a bottle, and I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah,
awesome." So
but
I slid
obviously
down
the water didn't ruin the message. You were able
the boat.
to read
No, it was written in charcoal, and the
it.
paper
Charcoal.
quality was
Wow.
pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
How about that?
Did the message say send more beer?
No, I know this is
No.
No, I think it said
Okay.
something about rum. No?
exactly.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
95 years
Why is
old,
it
Barry.
always the rum? Yeah. What? They had beer 95 years ago.
Well, maybe, but
Why
they.
is the rum gone?
Yeah, exactly.
Always the rum.
Why
Yeah.
is the rum all gone?
Well, was it a rum bottle, or what kind of bottle was it? Do you even know there, Jennifer?
Yeah, it's a Moon's Emerald Oil bottle. I'm not sure. My son looked it up on the internet. It's like some sort of snake oil from back in the day.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that might be worth money right there. But that's cool. What a cool story. Went viral. Pretty awesome little thing that you have to share for years now. And
Yeah,
kind of put you on our radar. And lo and behold, Captain Patrick did some research and realized, like, hey, this lady has quite the boating business going. Isn't that right, Patrick? What did you find exactly?
Yeah, I mean, the story about the message in the bottle certainly newsworthy, but as I kind of looked into, you start to dig in a little bit, and with Captain Jennifer and her story and her business, which want to make sure we get that out there, is nauticalnorthfamilyadventures.com. And when I had approached Greg about, doing this interview, was not even so much the message in the bottle, but the tours that you're running up there and how you got into the business, and reading up on this boat that you had specially built just for your business. And that's kind of the direction I wanted to take with the interview. Now that we're past, the fascination with the message in the bottle, is what you're doing out there on Lake Huron.
What is it, Jennifer? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. This business, I started it about 3 years ago my 3 boys and I actually wrote the 38-page business plan together, and then basically it's a wing and a prayer, and it was just this is my dream, and I'm actually riding on it right now. So yeah, we had the boat made for the business. I searched around for some used glass bottom boats and didn't find anything that would be worthy, and so we found a glass bottom boat manufacturer, Newton Boats, out of Slidell, Louisiana, and they worked with Sector Sioux Coast Guard and put this boat together so that it was adequate for the Great Lakes. And
next thing you know, here you are on your vessel, finding messages in a bottle and taking people out boating and diving and God knows what.
It's been fantastic. Yeah,
you're living the dream, Jennifer.
I really am. We pitched the whole idea to Invest Sheboygan, which is a small town Shark Tank, and we lost.
Yeah.
We lost. We did not win, but we had a private investor that was in the audience that actually contacted me a couple days later and offered the money to get the loan for the boat, and so here we are.
How about that?
Wow.
So was this always, kind of like the dream, or was it just something happened in your life? Like you was like, hey, I got this opportunity. I'm going to change gears for my career and go live on a boat all the time and take people out and have fun.
A little bit of both. There were quite a few things happening in my life at that time, and honestly, aren't we all happier on a boat?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Life is better on a boat, I believe, is the quote, right? Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah.
But
so
you took a big dive to get into this. I mean,
what do you mean?
It could completely change what she was doing before, which was not a cushy job, but a job with where
pressure,
you retire from,
with stress.
Yeah. Well, pressure and stress, but she had a job that if she stayed through it, retire later and all that stuff. She went into something completely different.
Yeah.
And really took a chance jumping in like this.
I think you're wearing it well though, Jennifer. So it looks like you took the right float plan there.
It was an enormous leap of faith. I think at that moment in my life, the biggest lesson being pushed to me was faith, and so I took it.
And it's worked out pretty good so far. Yeah.
Pretty big change in life, and actually my brother passed away about 3.5 years ago. About 5 months worth of cancer, and I thought, you know what?
That's kind of where I was going when I asked you that question initially, because usually when you talk to people like this that start a new business and go out and live the dream, and then you hear about what they've done, there's something that's happened in their life that kind of made them wake up a little bit. You know what I mean? And it sounds like that applies to you. Fair?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you always love the water?
Oh, yes. I've been driving a boat since 3 feet tall.
3 feet.
So your parents got you involved in it early.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, my dad probably was fishing. Yeah.
Okay. And so
she was just stealing boats at 3.
Well, whatever it takes.
Well, whenever we would go camping or something, I had my little fishing set. I always backed my boat into the water.
So the other cool thing that I heard earlier is you mentioned that you had your sons involved in writing the business plan.
Yeah.
Is that correct? So how do you now fast forward to the business is now operational. What roles are they playing in the business?
So I have a little merchandise shop near to the boat. We converted like a snowmobile trailer with shelves, and we have T-shirts and knickknacks and stuff like that for our guests. And my 13-year-old and my 15-year-old generally run that shop. We are doing 5 tours a day now.
Wow.
When we're not out here scuba diving. So.
Okay, so what is it exactly? You're taking them out boating, you're taking them out diving, snorkeling, whatever they want to do. It's kind of their choice. Is that the deal,
lighthouse
Jennifer?
tours, shipwreck tours.
It just depends on what they want to do. You let the guests
all of the
pick
above.
it. Yeah.
Yep. Our
Awesome.
typical day is 5 tours a day, the tours are about an hour and a half long. We have a historian on board that narrates the Sheboygan River and the lighthouses in the area, and then we go over 3 shallow water shipwrecks with the glass bottom boat.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. But then on the 2:00 trip every day, we offer snorkeling over the shipwrecks. And swimming, just get the kids off and have a good time. And,
I like it. Well, Barry and myself are scuba divers, so we might have to come up there and join you. What's the water temp? We got to ask.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's the water temp today? 42 at the bottom.
Holy
We're
crap.
doing some technical diving up here.
Jennifer, one word
There's not enough millimeters.
that's going to keep us away from you, and that is shrinkage. And we're just
Yeah.
going to leave it at that,
Water
okay?
freezes- Remember,
Honestly,
water
the-
freezes at 50 degrees in Florida.
Yeah, okay, well,
Honestly, the water temperature where we snorkel it hovers around 70 right about now. We will get up to the upper 70s.
Have you ever
Okay.
been down to
That's not
Fort
bad.
Lauderdale?
Yeah, I spent some time in the Caribbean.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure you knew what warm water actually felt like.
right. Barry and
Bathwater,
myself belong to the warm water wuss diver group in Florida.
Absolutely.
So,
I've only dove the Great Lakes, so
Oh, really? Well, we'll have to compare
Lobster
notes.
season
Maybe you'll have to
starts
come
in
our
a
way.
few- 3 weeks.
There you go. The website again, Jennifer, for your operation, if people want to reach out.
sure, it's nauticalnorthfamilyadventures.com.
Excellent. Captain Jennifer, she got a message in a bottle. Cool boating operation. Go check her out. We got more coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
Sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Hi, guys. Y'all look great. It's so good to see y'all.
Likewise.
Welcome to Hilton Head Island. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so amazing. And so I figured what better way to see the island than on a boat.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, Barry the Boater, rounding out the crew. The Bachelor is in full swing right now, by the way. But
I do not watch it.
Oh, you're a liar!
I do not watch any of that.
I know. I haven't seen any boating activities yet with the Bachelorette and her cast of man meat, but I'm sure it's coming. What? I'm just saying that's
Did you
what's
apply
going
for
on.
the show?
No, I'm married, Mike. Come on, I have to watch it because my wife and daughter make me, and then I report to you, so you don't have to, and you're
Thank
welcome.
you. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Okay, so enough of that. Patrick, what else we got? There's some big boating news I think we have to chat up today, don't we?
There is always big boating news, but we're not going to talk about Barry's fascination with super yachts.
If it isn't built, it doesn't exist, he said.
That's right. You don't get to hold the title of world's largest super yacht until it has officially launched.
Explain. Right. What do you mean?
Well, because in the pre-show meeting, somehow Barry was talking about, what's the world's largest super yacht.
Yeah.
And then he brought up this one that was owned by 19 individual people.
39.
It's like that. What at 39, even worse.
Well,
that doesn't count. That's
okay.
A cruise ship.
A floating timeshare. Got it.
The largest yacht owned by a single person, not a company, but a single person, and that's the Azam. Currently holds that, has actually since 2013. I think it used to be Abramovich's Eclipse prior to that. Well, Barry was bringing up, Jeff Bezos's super yacht or his super sail yacht that's coming up, and they're not in the water yet. They don't count.
They don't count till they're completed, according to you. Is that right, Patrick?
Okay. They don't count until, honestly, I don't think they count until they've passed their sea trials.
And they've been christened with a bottle of champagne. The tender for Jeff Bezos' boat is going to be 246 feet long.
That's crazy.
That's the tender. I said, wait, that's 3 properties down the street here is 300,
Now, what size is the tender for the tender?
I don't know. All I know is his.
Because it's going to have one.
I would assume it's going to have a ding. Is probably going to be 100-foot dinghy.
Because usually, what you're referring to, the tender for his super yacht, is going to be the one that carries all the toys.
I guess so. It's 417 feet for the sailing machine, and then the tender is 246. So I guess it tows the tender behind it. That's why they're getting that length.
No, it doesn't tow it behind it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the tender tows the sailing boat. I don't know.
The tender is going to act as more of a support vessel. Think military.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to act more as a support vessel, and it will have it'll have spare parts, machinery, things of that nature. Plus, it will more than likely be carrying all of the toys, which means the smaller yachts that they'll use to run around the islands and stuff, because at some places you're not going to get that boat into a harbor.
Well, if this one gets built, it's going to be this other one that's not Jeff Bezos, but it's going to be 728 feet long, and it's going to have 39 what they call luxury condominiums, so 39 owners.
That's a cruise ship. That doesn't.
Count. Greg knows more about cruise ships.
He's
a
true.
Professional.
And that wouldn't be a cruise ship. That would just be a timeshare yacht, I think. Fractional ownership type of vessel.
It doesn't. I don't think. Again, I'm a purist at heart. I think we all recognize that. So it's got to be owned by a single person
with very deep pockets.
Very deep pockets.
Well, I mean, there are lots of people that are true boaters and have nice. I'm not talking about super yachts, but just call it any boat that go into a partnership and buy. Maybe on their own they could afford a 30-footer, but they want a 45-footer, and they go in with a partnership.
Right. And then just get like fractional ownership, where they'll get like, okay, I'll get a chance to be able to use it for 4 weeks.
Okay, but you don't get to then claim that you own the world's largest super yacht.
Okay, you own a part
ownership
of the
I
world's
own
largest.
I own the bow back 10 feet. That's about all I can afford.
I call the head, because I think that's
of course
you separate it with painter's tape.
That's right.
The blue tape.
Makes sense.
Somebody's been watching old episodes of Laverne and Shirley.
No, WKRP.
I have no idea what you're referencing, but whatever.
Les Nessman's office.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
You would think a radio guy would know that.
No.
Anyway, big news that came up on the wires this week. So much so that even Mike was aware of it. Amazingly enough, Barry wasn't, and hopefully he's pulled the story up.
Yep.
But this is U.S. senators introduce a GPS bill. Now, you're thinking, what's going on with that? Well, the Federal Communication Commission in 2020 made a decision to allow a single satellite communications company called Legato Networks to construct a land-based industrial 5G L-band wireless network. Anybody want to guess the issue with that?
Let's see. The GPS will be more accurate.
Interference. Not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, if
Can
you go
you
into
imagine?
the article,
Yeah.
it the interference and the adjacent bands and GPS signals are already extremely weak. That's why GPS devices are so calibrated, right?
Well, that's why they're
Right.
so expensive, but they've gotten cheaper.
Mhm.
But yes, they do require multiple GPSs to get a fairly accurate position.
Here's the thing. Boaters rely on a publicly funded GPS system. I mean, we all should realize that. And this privately owned GPS system, if it causes harm to the publicly owned used GPS system, the senators want to make sure that Legato is on the hook financially to make sure that if their system causes any disruption to the publicly funded one, that they're on the hook financially to fix it.
Well, it makes sense.
It does, except that there was nothing in place to compel them to do that, which means they could construct something that could disrupt the one that the general public uses.
Well,
and not saying this would be their intention, but then we got to use theirs.
Well, no. It's not a
no.
GPS system. It is a network system.
A network. Okay, we'll dive a little deeper into this next on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 PSI left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Imagine traveling twice as fast as you can drive. Imagine taking friends and family snorkeling, surfing, skiing, shopping, and more to exotic destinations. Imagine attending business meetings in cities far away and still making it home at night. Or just imagine exploring the wild blue yonder.
Quit dreaming about it and get to it. There has never been a better time to become a private pilot, and Flight Training Professionals in Orlando will show you how. Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is your full-service flight school. A state-of-the-art flight simulator, a fleet of the latest Cessna aircraft, and a staff of full-time seasoned flight instructors are just a few of the many reasons Flight Training Professionals in Orlando is the place to start your aviation adventure. Call 407-896-0077. That's 407-896-0077. Or go to ftpros.com. That's ftpros.com. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, Barry the Boater, rounding out the crew. All right, so this company has been given, have they been given the green light to put this GPS system out there, Patrick, or they're just under consideration?
It's not a G. It's a 5, as Barry said, it's a 5G L-band wireless network.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I want to make clear
Voice and data
is that Legato is a satellite communications company.
Right.
So my comment about, oh, well, now you got to use our GPS system, don't think that's too far off in somebody's thinking to where, oh, all of a sudden, yeah, this isn't reliable. Hey, we got a fix for that. And they push that through Congress. Next thing you know, it's like a toll road, you know, and we're paying for GPS coverage.
Well, some weather companies wanted to do the same thing, trying to get rid of NOAA's daily briefings and stuff like that, where you would have to go to private companies to get your weather and sign up for it. But that being aside, what they said was apparently this company had somehow worked with the FCC where they would pay for equipment upgrades or changeovers for the government only. But everyone uses GPSs, whether they realize it or not. Your cell phone uses a GPS. All the GPSs in the cars that help you get from point A to point B are out there. Your boats use GPS. I have some equipment that uses a GPS so that everything's tied together, locked in frequency. So what this bill is supposed to do is make it so that they're going to have to take care of everyone that has GPS issues.
Well, there you go. Well, hopefully that'll solve that issue.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, we don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it unfolds.
It's a safety thing. You know, every vessel. So let's say I'm traveling down the Intercoastal Waterway in Brunswick, Georgia, and this 5G system interferes with my GPS. You know, and it's not giving me an accurate reading with regard to where I am in the channel. Well, anybody that's boated there knows that if you're outside the channel, you want wheels on the bottom of your boat.
Right. You're going to find out one way or another whether you're in the channel, depending on how your boat operates or stops cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. And if the issues arise, they'll address them without charging us an arm and a leg. But it's the government. What do you know what to expect, right?
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
This is the World of Boating. If you want to boat your girl, you got to get a boat first. But then, you know, maybe you don't want one. Because now you'll have two women in your life. But to each his own. I'll leave it at that. I am Greg, first mate. We got Captain Patrick Barry, the boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. All right, so GPS, we'll keep covering this 5G network issue. And,
here's the thing. This is Senator Inhofe has introduced legislation known as the Retain Act. So if you are concerned about this, those listeners out there, and you should be, if you're using any type of GPS, contact your elected representative, make your voice heard, let them know that, you support the Retain Act, which is, I personally, I wish they could have dialed this thing back because if you were aware that giving them license to develop this could and probably will cause disruption with the publicly funded system, it should have been rethought. That's all I'm going to say before they gave it the green light. I don't think they researched it far enough, and we are great about forming committees to form a committee to look at the possibility of forming a committee to look at this possibly taking place. And this went right on through.
The issue is it didn't go through Congress. This was a regulatory approval.
Right. But now Congress has got to get involved to correct it, which again, now we've just added another layer of bureaucracy. And if there's a disruption, how responsive is Legato going to be? And hopefully none of this comes to pass. But again, I would just say that if you've got concerns about this, contact your elected representative, whether red or blue, and because I believe this is supported across both sides of the proverbial aisle, if you will, in making sure that the GPS systems are protected.
There you go.
Someone's going to have to follow the bouncing ball on how that ended up even getting approved one company to go build this whole thing out.
I'm not even going to go there because that's not this type of show, and it'll just make Greg really mad.
Well, it could affect boaters nationwide and everywhere in North America where this is going to be built. So,
which I know Greg, and back when Bill was a regular part of the show, when I talk about paper charts and doing chart work and knowing how to use a chart, Mike, you've always struck me as the type of guy that I don't know if you do it on occasion or if it's part of when you're going out to make a long trip. I know Barry's pretty well-versed in doing chart work, but, nothing beats. I mean, if GPS systems go down and if you had access to the old Loran C, good luck, and you still had your Loran C cards.
Well, Barry carries a sextant on his vessel, so
I wish I had a good sextant. You know how expensive they are?
Yeah, they are, man. I mean, the real ones, not the ones that you put on your desk.
Oh yeah. The real ones are expensive, man. I don't understand it either. They're not electronic.
No, because it's a mechanical work of art. It's so precise because and that's one thing that's still on my bucket list is to be able to do celestial nav.
Yes.
United States Power Squadron, you could learn that.
No, I mean I want to get in.
No, I mean it's not hard to do, but contrary to what you see in movies, the only time you really use it is either early in the morning when the stars are still out, or late at night, or at midday. That's how you find midday.
Yeah, I always look for George Clooney.
Yeah.
Well, how much does a sextant cost these days?
$400 or $500.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't get a cheap plastic one?
That's for a cheap one. I mean, if you want like the high, you're looking,
No, I just want one to throw in my zombie apocalypse, Tupperware container. You
have to learn it. Actually, it's a fun thing to learn. One of the things I did learn really quick is when we went to the beach to try them out, is I noticed a couple of stars moving, and my instructor said, "Those aren't stars; those are satellites." I didn't realize that if you go out at a certain time at dusk, you can see satellites fly overhead.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now you can see the Starlinks.
Or the UFOs that have been invading our
they
planet
come out of
years.
Atlantis, but we'll discuss that on the Scuba Show.
Right.
So a topic that I threw at you guys this week was what trend in boating in the last 10 years do you wish had never occurred or you would like to see go away? So I'm sure you all did your research and your homework and you've got your personal preferences. Barry's probably got a list. Mike's probably got a list. Greg is still trying to figure out what we were talking about.
Well, you threw it at us and I dodged. I ducked and missed it totally.
I have one for you.
Okay.
So I talk about this with other people too. And I think boats have become way too electronic. Now I understand, having the navigation system and everything, but touch pads and all these things to run critical systems that have, a pretty high failure rate, if they get corroded or anything like that. So I'm a big believer in toggle switch technology. I mean, aside from the navigation, my boat's a World War II technology kind of a boat.
Right.
Mike, you are parroting about everything that I've said on this show for the last 10 years. Simpler is better at times. You give me a boat with analog gauges, shifter cable, throttle cable, steering cable. If something breaks, I can get us back. I mean, if shifter cable breaks, I can get us back. If a throttle cable breaks, I can get us back. Steering cable even, I can get us back. When you go full electronic, you better have towboat or
US,
sea tow
or something
to get you home.
Yeah, well, it happened to a friend of mine a few years ago. He had a newer cruising. I'm not going to say the brand. And his entire panel, instead of toggle switches, was a touchpad to operate everything. Well, it failed. The one on the left side of the steering wheel failed. And guess what they told him? Oh, we don't make those anymore.
Of course.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. And then they also have problems trying to get them repaired because the manufacturers don't want to hand out the service manuals to just repair companies. They want to keep it all in house.
If you have those, especially if you have a boat that's got dual, say, glass cockpits, Now, Glass Cockpits, which is a actual brand, if you will, it's Volvo Penta, has the Glass Cockpit. Glass Cockpit is actually made by Garmin, but it's a Volvo Penta part because it's programmed with their stuff, unlike the traditional Garmin screens if you have a outboard powered boat that's got Garmin. But the panels that those Garmin set in, to your point, if that model is no longer available and the 7612 has been replaced by the 7645 and it's half an inch wider all the way around, now it's just not paying to replace two because but it's also now getting a new panel for them to set in, or taking the one that you have and trying to cut it to modify to allow for this the newer, larger one to sit in there. So it does get a bit problematic. I will tell you that from a manufacturing standpoint, the direction that they've taken where you can make boating easier to operate, and they have gotten, it's a weird dynamic where the systems have become easier to operate, but customers are finding it harder to use because you go into those Garmin screens and you can go so far into the menus that you wind up changing parameters, you wind up changing your fuel flow rates, you change your tank capacities. You have to be really, really careful and aware of going into these things, what they do and don't do. Electronic battery switches, going to, generators going away and going to inverter systems and larger battery bank powers. It's the way that it's going, but it's all in an effort to make it easier to operate, become more friendly to the environment, so on and so forth. But, there are manufacturers out there that still produce what I call, and I've always called, dumb boats, dumb technology, which
doesn't show up in their marketing material for those vessels.
Not under those terms.
Right.
Barry, what do you got?
Nothing. He's got nothing.
No.
Come on,
No,
look
that's
at
not
him.
true. This is not a downer thing though. But this is the thing that aggravates me is when I go over to the sandbars and you have the one boat that has the gigantic sound system with speakers everywhere, and
That's
feels
just cool.
that everyone wants to listen to the disco music of the day.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Disco music. Catch up with the 90s, will you, Barry? Come on. All right. More coming up on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Man has always been drawn to the sea. But it's an unnatural setting for us, a place of great danger. Tides, currents, waves, wind, each presenting their own hazards, none of which can be ignored. The slightest lapse of judgment can be a mistake you might never recover from. But a good sailor doesn't fight against these elements. A good sailor works with them, using them to his advantage, while others less fortunate might be forever cast adrift, often in several pieces. He always comes home safely.
I don't know if that's good or bad. You don't want to come back in pieces. So I don't know. This is the world of boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, Barry the Boater, rounding out the crew. And I don't know even where to go after that. Actually, it kind of derailed me. Yeah, that was Dexter.
Yeah, well, I'll get us back on track. So,
okay.
There are so many stories that occurred this week, and if you want to get caught up, check us out on Facebook, World of Boating, or at worldofboating.com. There's a really great video of a boat ramp incident that I will not go into detail about, but
they're always fun to watch.
This one, somebody got thrown.
Oh, okay.
It funny, but only funny because they weren't seriously hurt.
Yeah.
Well, then it's hilarious.
Yes. I prefer the ones
about this this Transair B732 that ditched in the ocean off of Honolulu. The audio transcript, the actual audio is there, and part of it is air traffic control. The fire trucks are rolling. Pilot, you want to let the Coast Guard know as well?
That's never a good.
They were pretty calm about it, though.
They
really were.
The one pilot was, you could hear the other pilot. You could hear his, because he knew. He knew that, and I'll tell you who was really calm was the ATC controller. She was spot on in directing them. And do you want to try to make this runway? Do you want to make this airport? And then nothing, and that they ditched. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, they were okay. But some interesting audio there. To briefly touch back on the subject before break, boating trends in the last 10 years that we would have liked to have seen not occur or wish would go away. For me, it is the huge hull side windows. That trend, which didn't start, but is part of larger yachts that had migrated down to the recreational boats manufacturing. Some of these huge glass windows on the sides of the hulls, they are frameless. Some of them are extruded, sit out beyond the hull side. Some of them have a tooled-in area that they sit within. And it's all in an effort, of course, to give more light into the cabins down below versus the traditional portholes, things of that nature were kind of limited. But if, as an owner of a boat like that, you have to be so aware of where you're docking,
what you're wearing when you're in your boat, and
that too.
If you're wearing anything
right
on your boat,
exactly.
And boat manufacturers have put fender clip holders, the receivers there, to where you can drop your protection there right over the side to help protect that window. If the unfortunate thing happens where you have one of those came in a little bit harder than you expected, or there was an unfortunate gust of wind. But I'm not a fan of them.
Not a fan. Okay.
To your point, a friend of mine on this very dock had that happen to him, and he's got very large side windows. He was pulling in next to it. He was pulling into a dock side to, I think it was a fuel dock somewhere, and he heard a crash, and it was one of the windows had touched one of the pilings.
That's got to be a special window that's made for these boats, right?
It is just like windshields. I mean, they're made specially, but you know the way that they are adhered, because they're frameless. So the way that they are adhered to the fiberglass portion of the hull, the way that they're sealed, if the unfortunate happens and these you come in contact and they break, not only now do you have a huge opening in your hull side,
air conditioning
that's prone to weather, which you better get some shrink wrap tape and cover it up. But now you've got the repair expense of that happening. And I understand why manufacturers, again, kind of following the trend from the larger yachts, and people want that design in, the smaller boats that are more affordable to the masses, if you will. I'm more of a traditionalist. I just find them to be a little too grandiose for recreational boating.
Well, regardless of whether you like style or the way they look or whatever, functionally, there is a benefit, because you get more use out of your boat. I mean, older boats that didn't have that might seem like a cave when you go into the cabin, right? And if you want to spend time in your boat,
mooning the passerbys without even having to go out on the deck.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, look at the bright side.
It was all in an effort to environment while you're mooning.
Exactly. Come on. They're just responding to market. They're responding to the market, I guess. So I don't know.
I better put on my Speedo.
More windows, more problems, according to Captain Patrick. Fair enough. All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up. Till next time, remember, whether it is sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Here, you barnacle-bitten swab.
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.